Okay. Hey, folks, what's going on? It's me, Andrew Westmoreland. I can't even say my name, Andrew Westmoreland. I am doing a spontaneous stream because the news is so important. Colorado just ruled that Trump is ineligible to be on the ballot for the 2024 election. Uh, I'm not sure that this has ever happened ever in the history of America. And what we're experiencing right now is probably I think this is what ends the country. I mean, we've already kind of been on this, for a while now. Uh, at no point are we coming back from this. Whatever happens after the Civil War, because it started. There's no taking it back. Whatever survives afterward is going to be something different. Okay. Uh, we're not going to have the same country that we had 10, 20, 30 years ago. I want to talk about it for a little bit. Now, I do have this article pulled up. I don't know how well you can see this. Trump ineligible to run for president in Colorado because of J6 court rules in a historic move. Now, this ruling is the Supreme Court of Colorado. I'm trying to read my own screen in front of me, and it's through Streamlabs, so it's not very good. So let me look to the side of my other one. Former President Trump is ineligible to run under the 14th Amendment to run for president because of the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. The Colorado Supreme Court ruled on Tuesday. Now, here's the thing. To my understanding, a state does not have the authority to say who could be on the ballot or not. They cannot bar somebody. My understanding is that a federal court has to rule this. So my immediate response is that this is illegal and unconstitutional. Okay. It's a 4-3 ruling. We conclude that President Trump engaged in insurrection. Okay, well, they can't rule that. So I'm 100% sure on this. A state cannot rule that a former president or president at the time was engaged in insurrection. That is a federal question. Okay. Now, obviously, states can run their own elections, but there's limitations to that. There's a lot in here. Well, not really. There's more, but I don't feel like reading it. It's kind of pointless. Okay. Now, here we go. StreamYards, I'm not used to all of this. Valiant Thor says so much for free and fair elections. I'm not sure that we've ever had them before, but we're getting to the point now where it's so painfully obvious. Okay, it's so painfully obvious. Decipher says, "Yeah, man, I heard about this. This is crazy. Both sides are going to get more reactionary, crazy, and radical." Yeah, I mean, at no point. Let me see. Does this? Yeah, there we go. At no point is anyone really going to believe the election results in 2024. Why would you? Doesn't matter who wins on paper or in practice, whoever sits in the White House. It doesn't matter because nobody's going to believe it. Everyone is so wound up. Okay. Everyone is so wound up. And I sit here and I'm just, I've been talking about this for something like 10 years now. And very few people wanted to entertain what I was saying. They think I was crazy. They said that, I didn't know what I was talking about. And at the end of the day, I was right because I'm looking ahead. I'm taking bits and pieces of information, I'm putting it all together, and I'm putting all these bits and pieces of information together, and I'm formulating, a logical conclusion. The logical conclusion is, you can't keep doing these things indefinitely and expect a positive outcome from this. Okay. What do you think is going to happen when half of this country who are considered conservative or Republican, and most of those people who will vote for Trump if he's on a ballot, what do you think they're going to do when they find out that he's been removed from the ballot? It only takes one state, and people have been saying this for a while now. It only takes one state. Once one state does that, that's it. The election is gone. There is no. You cannot claim that there is going to be a legitimate election in 2024 if the front runner, the candidate who's leading in the entire election, is not on the ballot now. You can't tell me that's going to be an election. That's not an election anymore. It's something else. You can call it whatever you want. Banana Republic, some kind of a takeover of some kind of a coup. You can call it whatever you want. The point is, we're done here. There's nothing left. Okay, there's nothing left to salvage as a whole, because I foresee this is going to be a cascading effect. You're going to have other states are going to immediately follow suit as soon as possible within the week. It's what, Tuesday. By Friday, you're going to have, six, half a dozen states that are going to follow suit. By the new year, you're probably going to have 12 states. Maybe it might take a couple of months or so, but you're going to have states that are just going to say, nope, we don't want Trump on the ballot. And then they're going to claim that, the insurrection. That's great. That's great for them. But to the average person who doesn't see that, who doesn't understand where they're coming from, what they're trying to sell doesn't make sense. And even when they do try to explain it, it doesn't make sense because there isn't evidence for this. Okay. They kept building and building and building and building and building on this lie, saying that Trump somehow wanted, uh, you know, Republicans on January 6th to overthrow the government. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. There's no evidence for any of this. Okay. And when we're looking at all of this stuff today, people who have been paying attention, those of you who have been paying attention, we've seen this for years. We saw that this was coming, and we tried to tell our friends, our family, and people are like, nah, don't, a couple would listen and they'd be like, oh, that's scary, but then no one did anything. They didn't spread awareness. They didn't speak out. They didn't do anything. And it's a cultural problem. We have all these different issues that are compounding on our daily lives where the average person does not have the time or energy to sit here and watch 4 to 6 hours of political news content every day, whether it be from independents or from mainstream media. We don't have time for that. We're trying to survive. This economy is crashing. We have illegal immigration that's probably the worst we've ever seen in this country, short of the founding of America. You know, it's insane right now, and people they feel trapped. They feel trapped in their own country. They don't know what to do. They're looking for guidance. They're going to their churches and their cathedrals and all that. They're looking for answers. They're asking friends and family, and most people don't have a really good, satisfying answer. And I don't have an answer either, because my warnings have always been, Well, 10 years ago, my warnings were, hey guys, I'm envisioning, XYZ, and it's turning into, XYZ equals omega. Maybe we should do something about this. And, you know, I think it was maybe 2 years ago, I said we're past the point of no return. Now, I mean, saying I told you so does nothing. Okay. It does absolutely nothing. It's not satisfying to know that I was right. It's sad. It's depressing. And I asked myself, could I have done anything more? It's like, not really. I really couldn't have, because I have nothing. I mean, this is crazy breaking news. It's going to continue. Okay. They're going to take Trump off the ballot of at least a dozen states. And you're going to have to make really hard decisions coming up. Okay. You're going to have to start deciding what side I'm on. Because saying neutral, I mean, yeah, there's always going to be a neutral zone. And it depends what city and state and region you're in. But ultimately, I think there's going to be a breakup, and you're going to have, stuff like California is going to do their own thing. New England is going to do their own thing. Southern states are going to do their own thing. And there's going to be regional breakups. I think it's inevitable. I don't know how we avoid this. I really don't. I mean, you have hyper partisan members of Congress, of the judiciary, who are illegally changing how we do business in this country. I don't know what's going on with my connection because I have amazing internet now. So if this is hiccuping, I apologize, but I think it's YouTube side. Decipher says just what it looks like. Just what it looks like. We're in the Middle East. Hold on, let me just put this up. Middle East is popping off again, and we won't have to worry about China-Russia geopolitics now. We got to worry about civil war again. It's a thing. Is like I've brought that up, for years. Is we're gonna have to keep an eye on China and Russia, North Korea a little bit, and I'm pretty sure at some point I doom predicted that worst case scenario is while we're having our civil war, China and Russia are gonna get greedy and start acting up. It's a perfect opportunity for them. America is funding the Russian Ukraine war. America is funding the Israeli-Palestinian war, whatever you want to call that. And then if a civil war breaks out, China is going to do what it wants to do, and Russia is going to do what it wants to do. We're going to have to focus all of our forces and power here at home. And it's going to be a really nasty fight. Okay, it just will be. Miss Red Badger, hello. I appreciate that, Decipher. As I told people before, it's kind of like I am too busy with my job now. I'm an account manager with a armed security company. There isn't time. And when I have off time, I try to block out the world and just play video games. So I do that privately. But thank you. From time to time, I'll pop in here with some information. Mr. Red Badger says 40 divisions worth illegals now. Civil War suck. All civil wars suck. So what ends up happening is It's always people fighting each other, neighbors. We're all supposed to be Americans. And what ends up happening in our scenario now, they're already talking about offering citizenship to illegal immigrants, for military service, which, I mean, that's not unheard of. It's not really that uncommon in the sense of immigrants have always had the ability to be fast tracked into citizenship if they join the U.S. military. What sucks for us now is you're going to have these illegal immigrants who, yeah, many of them will be like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll fight for the tyrannical American government that's subverting the Constitution and all of our rights and all these other things to crush this rebellion that's brewing right now. And make no mistake about it, it is brewing. Okay, it's absolutely brewing. You're not going to convince me that 75 million, Trump supporters are going to do nothing when they're saying that their candidate can't be president again. Trump was not. Also understand this too. Trump was not convicted of insurrection. So how can this court rule that he did insurrection? He wasn't on trial. It's like none of this makes sense, except for the fact that you can tell that Democrats are seizing power. They don't care about the rules or the law or our morals or ethics. They're just seizing power. I'm sorry that I have to say it that way, but it's the truth. It's like Democrats are evil. I'm not saying the average, Democrat voter. I'm saying like the Democrats in power. They absolutely know what they're doing. They're evil. These are evil, evil, sick people, and they will literally do anything to take control. It's sad. But this is where we're at, and I have regular people in my peripheral life. People are noticing stuff. They're starting to notice, like, hey man, why are they always dogging out Trump? Or why are they always bringing up Trump? Why are they saying he's like Hitler? Like he's silly, or I don't like him, but he's nothing like it. It's like, hey man, all I can do is point people in the right direction. I'm not anywhere near as involved in the news and politics like I used to be, but I absolutely can tell you, I still have a pretty good pulse on the situation. And this is kind of the perfect time. I was predicting between some of my employees and subordinates at work. We were talking about the Israel situation, and there's the military is quietly activating a ton of military active troops to go to the Mediterranean. We had multiple ships, big ass battleships. So we don't have battleships anymore, but you know what I'm talking about: warships, destroyers, carriers, that kind of stuff. Even some, I believe we had a submarine that went out to the Mediterranean, missile boats and everything. The thing that really caught my attention is, excuse me, we had military retirees being contacted by the military. I can't remember what the military acronym was, but basically doing evaluations, mental, physical, doing blood work, basically fit for service evaluations. And we're talking people who are retirees. They're getting called in mandatory, like the government is calling them, hey, we need you to come in on this day for this evaluation. And people are like, people at my job were getting this, and they're like, this is not normal. So there's a high degree of certainty, I would say, that something is about to break off like that. Okay, if they're talking about recalling retirees, they know that something's going on. But what do you do? Okay, what do you do when I'm trying to bring this crap back on the screen. This hateful mess. What are we supposed to do about this? Because I've been asking these questions for a long time now. I'm coming up on 10 years. What are we supposed to do about this? There's literally nothing that I can do. All I can do is say, I told you so, which isn't satisfying. Okay. I said that civil war is happening and this will be civil war. You can't remove, like Trump has right now in polls, he's polling higher than Biden. Biden, no one else is running against Biden. So you're telling me that you're going to take the presidential front runner off the ballot for a crime he wasn't convicted of, and then tell me it's not political, and then tell me that people are just going to accept it, and then tell me that we're not going to have civil war. I don't know what to tell people. It's just like, of course this is going to happen. And at some point we have to, accept this reality. So that's mostly all I had to say. I just wanted to bring it up. I think it's monumental. It's historic. It's absolutely terrifying that this is happening. Um, and I tell people, I guess all I can really say is just brace yourself, because this is going to get ugly. And I guarantee you, all the other political channels and stuff that you probably watch, they're going to be talking about this for sure. And I mean, it's civil war. How could you not have a civil war from this? And it just makes me sick to my stomach, because it was all avoidable. But it's very clear right now that Democrats are trying to seize power. Nothing Trump did while he was in office was worthy of all of these actions. The only thing, one of the things I always bring up to people who hate Trump, that are in my life or circles, as I said, you were trying to get him on all these other things. Well, why didn't y'all just go after him for nepotism? He has his family businesses, and his kids are in the White House with him doing these high level positions. Isn't that weird? Why didn't you go after that? Or why didn't you go after Trump for, he was trying to have official state visits at Mar-a-Lago, or one of his properties, Trump properties, impeach him for that. But they impeached him over fake things that were not true. It never made sense to me until you realize that Democrats are just evil. They don't care. They don't care about the truth. They only care about winning. And when you realize that these people only care about winning, it starts to make more sense. Okay. To the average person, you don't understand evil because you don't have to face it on a day-to-day basis. But when you start paying attention and you start thinking about why people are doing the things they're doing, you can easily see it. You're like, oh, okay, they're evil. They're just trying to seize power. I get it now. I get it. And they will lie, cheat, steal, kill, imprison. They don't care. It's banana republic territory now. We are a year away from them just killing people. People are just get vanished. And that might sound extreme, but they're literally arresting journalists because they were there recording or covering January 6th. I'm not talking about these hyper political journalists, these right wing journalists who are actively involved in stuff. I'm talking about like legitimate journalists who are just recording January 6th, who are interviewing people, who went into the Capitol to document, took pictures and video. they're being arrested and charged with these crimes that can send them into jail or prison for years for just being there doing their job, not participating, doing actual journalism. It's like, come on, man. Like, you can deny all this stuff for as long as you want, but when you're literally being dragged to a gulag, or you're literally being dragged to the execution pits. It's like, at some point you're gonna have to say, hey, people were warning me about this, and I've been warning about this crap for, like, again, about 10 years. All I could give you for advice now, the only thing I could possibly tell you, is just prepare, because this is going to affect everybody. Whether you're a leftist or a rightist or Democrat or Republican, it's going to affect everybody. It's coming. There's even a new movie coming out about the new American Civil War, some Hollywood thing. It's like, I can't tell you how many people were telling me I was crazy and that I'm exaggerating, or oh, Drew is so dramatic and he's always doom and gloom. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm just telling you what I see in my head. I don't think I'm that intelligent. I don't think I'm that, I'm no genius. I'm just seeing, 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4. I'm just seeing, X, Y, Z. I'm seeing things, come together, coalesce. I'm seeing the puzzle pieces. I'm seeing cause and effect, and I'm making guesses. Except my guesses are, well, what happens when this huge, grandiose amount of violence and corruption and stuff starts spilling over? When only one side gets politically prosecuted for crimes, whether real or imagined, but the other side gets away scot-free, and that keeps increasing, and we're going years and years. Like, what do you think is going to happen? At some point, it gets to this point where now they're illegally removing Trump from a ballot. And then what's going to happen? It's going to be appealed. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says you can't do that, assuming the Supreme Court can get this case fast enough. Even if they do, it tells Colorado, no, you can't take Trump off the ballot. They're going to do it anyway. And then what? You have to file another lawsuit and another lawsuit. And by that time, the election's over. The damage is done. Like, people don't understand how fragile the American system is. Any system around the world. It's literally a whole bunch of people in society that say, I agree to these rules. And any time that deviates about 4%, you don't need 30% of the population to disagree. 4%. If 4% of a population disagrees and gets violent, that's it. Your country is over. That's how much it takes to destroy a country. It's very easy, and it's terrifying. We just all agree. That, hey, maybe we should act right and agree on a set of rules. But now half the country does not agree on these set of rules. They don't agree on the rules that were set in place hundreds of years ago by the founders of this country. They don't believe in American values or any of that anymore. They have some kind of brain rot. They think that there's no truth but power. They literally they quote Stalinists, Marxists, communists, like, literally. They have infected every level of our society, and now they're seizing power. And they will lie, cheat, and steal to finish this. They want total control. And I can't give it, like I said, I can't give people suggestions. I can't. Because my suggestions that I've hinted at in the past, it's like, if you're not already there and already doing these things and preparing, it's kind of like it's too late. Okay. It's just going to spontaneously happen when states start seceding, because I'm seeing it. It's like, how else do you avoid this at this point? I don't see how. You're going to have people joining local militias, the local National Guard, and all these different things. All these different things are going to start happening that you never thought were possible. You're going to see horrific crimes on social media. This is like, a couple of years in the future. This isn't immediately right tomorrow, but it's been a slow rise to where we are now, where the Civil War is just about to start. Like the shooting is going to start. The weird political insanity is about to start. And then it's going to be a couple of years probably to where the absolute insanity, the full range of depravity and evil will be unleashed. They want civil war. They want depopulation. Absolutely. I mean, there's no question in that. Why do you think every single war is allowed to take place? It just never ends. One war ends and then another one pops up. And of course, America is involved in most of them because they profit off of it. Decipher, all in time for that Civil War movie is coming out soon. Yeah, I was speaking about that. It's just like at a certain point, I I don't even know what to say. It's just like, dude, I'm either manifesting this with cosmic, powers or something. I'm like a god with amnesia, which I'm not. I'm just a dude, a regular dude who can see a couple steps forward, and I can, put some puzzle pieces together. That's really it. But yeah, if you didn't start preparing, guns, ammo, food, water, medical supplies, years ago, then I don't know what to tell you, because everything's super expensive now. I already have my plan. I don't plan on stockpiling a whole bunch of stuff. I just have a starter pack, and if it really gets, apocalypse level, then I will just, harvest from other people, and I will pick, as necessary, and it will be by politics. It is what it is. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, this is what's coming, and all you can do is, try to enjoy, your life, and life will continue even though these bad things are happening. Okay, so don't forget that part is, while the war is happening and the destruction and the chaos, oh my gosh, this major city, some major attack happened, and all these people, oh my gosh, they're carpet bombing Chicago or whatever insanity is going to happen. Just know that your life will continue. You will continue to still have a life. You will still have to go to work. You're still going to have to go to the grocery store and get food and all this stuff, because it's not going to be literally the entire United States is fighting. It's going to be the pockets here and there as, as the dominoes fall. Still just need to enjoy your family. So that's really all I have right now. Just stay safe. Try to, enjoy your Christmas, enjoy your New Year. Pray. That's all I can say. All right. Take care.